retirement. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, live right here in the FijiWater.com studio to address whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. We are here for you to discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. So we are here live in the FijiWater.com studio every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted. And as always, our daily Divine Direction broadcast is brought to you by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock. The water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just water. This is Fiji Water at FijiWater.com. And I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, we are having a little technical difficulty, but we are live right here in the FijiWater.com sponsored studio. We are a little delayed coming up on our upload. However, we are here for you. God is always concerned about that which concerns you. And so we are here for you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And I want to say, for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the gifts on the contribution pages of our website at newlifeministriesinternational.com and newlifeinternationalcdc.com. We thank you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you to address whatever topics are important to you and whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. So I want to say we are excited about the fact that we have grown tremendously in this broadcast, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. And of course, on our Sunday sermon at New Life Christian Center - Pastor Pope on YouTube. We are excited about the broadcast coming up on 4 years. So our Sunday sermon started 4 years ago in September. As a matter of fact, this coming Sunday will be 4 years. And we launched the Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D on October the 2nd of 2020. I'm sorry, 2017. I've got COVID on my mind. When we have never been off the air, even during the pandemic. We have been on the air for all of our listeners and viewers, and we thank you for your continued support and continuing to encourage others to tune in so that they can hear from God, because whatever God speaks to me, I'm going to speak to you regarding whatever topics you would like to discuss and whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. And then, of course, on Sunday at New Life Christian Center, every Sunday at 10 a.m., our service begins. We go live with the Sunday sermon at 10:45 a.m. every Sunday. There's always going to be a word from the Lord, because I'm always going to preach whatever the Lord gives to me to give to you. So tune in and experience a better quality of life. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you came from a household of abuse, and now every relationship as an adult has led to some form of abuse, and yet you have not been able to break that cycle. So I was prayerful about this and prayerful for you, and God revealed to me in that secret place of your life exactly what you've been going through and exactly what you've been dealing with. And it's real important that you understand that what you've been experiencing is the result of a generational curse. People don't like to talk about generational curses, but generational curses are real. We're either going to create generational blessings or we're going to create generational curses. And so what you've been dealing with is a generational curse. You came from a household of both physical and mental abuse. And you've had early on relationships that, and you didn't say this in your communication, but God allowed me to see this in the secret place of your life. You have early on, as a young woman, gotten into relationships that were both physical and mentally abusive. You were able to stop connecting with people who are physically abusive, which is a great thing. To God be the glory. But you've allowed those who you've continued to be in relationships with moving forward to be mentally abusive. You've got to understand the importance of you right now breaking the generational curse. You have the power to break the generational curse. And so I'm going to walk you through some scenarios and help you really to understand how important it is. You listen, I don't want to diminish what you've already accomplished. Getting out of physical abusive relationships is a powerful step. It's not the finish line. It's not the end. Because you've been emotionally and mentally abused by others that you've dated. It's time to break that cycle. And let me tell you how that's going to happen. First thing you're going to have to do is sweep the people that are in your life out of your life. The males that you've been in a relationship with, and you didn't tell me in your communication, but I'm going to call it out. You're in a relationship now with someone who's emotionally abusive, and you are seeing someone else from time to time when he comes into town. So you know I'm talking directly to you. And when he comes into town, he's emotionally abusive. So you've got to sweep all of these people out of your life. No one wants to be alone. I understand that. But if you're going to heal and you're going to break this generational curse, you're going to find it necessary to sweep those people out of your life. Tell them that you are making some changes in your life. And don't see them. Don't go out on dates with them. Don't spend time with them. Don't spend the night with them. Don't do anything that's going to allow them to be present in your life. And you're going to start this all over again. But you're going to start this in a way and that's going to break the generational curse. If you sweep these people out of your life, eliminate them from being present in your life. They're not physically abusive, but they're emotionally and mentally abusive. You're going to have to separate yourself from them. That means when they call and want to go out, or they call and want to spend time with you, or they, whatever they want to do, it's what they want to do. And trust me, when you cut them off, they're going to move on. They're going to move on to someone else and something else. This is about you being whole in body, mind, and spirit. This is about you taking control of your life and making certain that as you move forward, you now eliminate the generational curse. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to break this circle and this cycle by first sweeping them out of your life and eliminating them from any activity. And then you're going to prepare yourself for the next relationship. You're going to take some time and heal yourself. You're going to heal yourself by spending more time focusing on the Lord, focusing on what God wants for your life. And I'm going to encourage you to do this. You're going to read Proverbs, the 31st chapter. Listen, open your Bible, because therein lies life. go to Proverbs, the 31st chapter, and read the 31st chapter of Proverbs. That is the virtuous woman. Read how to prepare yourself for the next relationship. And what that relationship is going to look like is this. You're going to start going to different places. You're going to start going to places that you don't normally go. You're going to make yourself available while you're preparing yourself. And what you're going to do is what I've encouraged all of our listeners and viewers to do, and that is anyone who asks you out, you tell them that the only way you're going to go out with them is to go to church and out to lunch 3 times. And during those, if he doesn't have a church, invite him to your church. Now, the thing is, you haven't been attending church. So you have to start. I wish you were in our area, because I would embrace you and whoever it is that's going to come into your life. But you're in a different area. You haven't been going to church. You know, here's what's happened for a lot of people. A lot of people, your church is reopened, but you haven't returned. A lot of people, due to the pandemic, have decided, I'm not ready to return to church. That's an excuse that allows us to do other things, because we're doing everything else we want to do. But we say, I'm not ready to go back to church yet because of the pandemic. But we go to the grocery stores, we go to the gyms, we go to, happy hour with our friends, we go everywhere else. But we're not ready to go back to church yet. And the reason most people aren't ready to go back to church is because they know they haven't been living right. But God's not waiting for you to live right. He's waiting for you to come and live. He's waiting for you to get closer to him. You draw closer to him, he draws closer to you. Whoever wants to date you is either going to have to take you or come with you to church 3 times and out to lunch. Church, lunch. Church, lunch. Church, and lunch. You'll know then if they're worthy of you spending any more time. And if they don't want to do that, move on. Check them off the list. They're not the person that God has appointed for your life. That's your litmus test. But when you find that one, or let me rephrase that, when that one finds you who has decided he wants to take you to church or go with you to church and out to lunch 3 times, and you decide that you want to then move forward, then you can start talking about, of course, the things you might like to do together, that you might like to go to a museum, or you might like to go out to dinner, or you might like to go to an art exhibit. There are things that you can do to change the quality of your life. And once you've accomplished that, during those 3 lunches, you will know, do they have a plan for their life? Because if they don't have a plan for their life, that's going to take me into another communication. But if they don't have a plan for their life, they can't have a plan for your life. And they don't have a plan to merge together with your plan, because you should have a plan. So that's first and foremost the litmus test. That's where you start. That's how you're going to break that generational curse. That's how you're going to find someone of quality who is willing to build a relationship and develop a great quality of life. And if you do that, you're going to break the generational curse. And that's how you're going to know who it is that God has appointed for your life. Okay. Now, having said that, then there's the conversations that you have to have during lunch, and the conversations that you have to have when you go out to dinner, once you finally do go out to dinner. You've got to find out what their thoughts are on family and relationship. Because if that is someone that you eventually are going to marry, you need to know what is their family history. You're going to talk about some of those things at lunch, but there may be some additional bits and pieces that you need to know. Is there mental illness in the family? Is there, what is the quality of life for their family? You know, those are things that you've got. We spend too much time when we start dating trying to be social and entertain. We want to go out to dinner, we want to go out to lunch, we want to go to sporting events, we want to go to concerts, we want to do all those things that are for the purpose of entertainment. The entertainment comes much later. What has to be the focus first is I'm on a mission to ensure that the person that's going to be present in my life is the one God has sent for me. Because nothing else truly matters. And if you begin there, you're going to find that you'll break that generational curse. And you'll be able to move forward and have life and have it more abundantly. You'll be able to not only have professional success, but you'll be able to have personal success. You'll be able to experience the fullness of God and someday maximize the fullness of God in your life. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. If you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, nor have you been for the previous 90 days, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will place you into our queue so that you can become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are dating a man who does not have a sense of direction. And you have a good time when you're together. Well, there's first red flag. You have a good time when you're together. However, your parents have taught you to set standards, and yet there's something about this man that you have lowered your standards. The standards that you know are good for your life. To enjoy a relationship or to date this man. So let me begin by saying this. How many times in our lifetime, over the course of our lifetime, how many times have we seen a man or a woman, for us men, who we just felt like there's something about them, I just have to have them? How many times have we lived that experience? And in most cases, there's an exception to every rule, but in most cases, that is the disaster. It is the disaster that becomes our lives. There's something about them. Well, your situation is just that. Here's, first and foremost, you say you're dating someone who has no sense of direction. Why are you dating him if you know he has no sense of direction? I don't care how cute he is. I don't care how much you think he's all that. If he has no sense of direction, how can he take you anyplace? All you can ever do is have what you said in the second part of your communication. It's a good time when you're together. Why are you with him having a good time if you know that he has no sense of direction? If you know he has no plan, once again, we've begun dating for the wrong purpose. If you know he has no plan, no sense of direction, so if he has no sense of direction, it's because he has no plan. But yet you say you're dating him, and you have a good time when you're together, so you're the good time girl. Your parents, you say, have taught you not only to set standards, but to live by those standards. Yet, you've ignored the standards. Your parents have, God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life as I was praying for you. Your parents are good people. They've set a particular standard for life. And you are now living as an adult who's able to make your own choices. Let me tell you how this feature film ends. Eventually, a couple of things may happen. Eventually, it's going to come to an end. You will have had a good time. Your heart will be broken because either he's not going to change and you're going to realize the relationship's going nowhere, or he's going to decide finally to get a sense of direction, and when he finally decides to get a sense of direction, the good time girl is not going to be the one he ends up with. He's going to end up with someone who then is seeking the same type of stability that he's seeking. You can't save him from being who he is. And the reality is that you don't have to settle for who he is. Your parents have shown you what standards look like. They've shown you what a quality of life looks like. They've shown you that if you work hard every day, you do the right thing, life will happen to us all, but you won't have to live in crisis. You won't live in chaos and you won't live in crisis. They've shown you what a standard truly is. Now, I will say this. For many of us who are parents, I'll say this, we're still seeking a spirit of excellence. We're still trying to maximize a spirit of excellence every day. You know, I hear people say this, and yet there's no example of it. But your parents have shown you what happens when you focus on living life the right way. They're not perfect because they're parents. If you don't understand that, you can ask my children. We're not perfect because we're all parents. Parents are not perfect. But the reality is, your parents have demonstrated what it looks like to have standards. Yet you just focused on the physical aspect and that, watch this, he's someone that can keep up with you. Because you like to go out and have a good time and he likes to go out and have a good time. Well, I can tell you that's only going to last as long as it lasts. It's not something that's going to be permanent. And in the end, you're going to be brokenhearted and left alone, and you're going to wonder what happened. Well, what happened is you lowered your standards. The best thing you can do right now, the very best thing that you can do for the quality of your life is to end that in dating him right now. I'm not going to date you any longer because I've come to realize you have no sense of direction. Pure and simple. That's it. Here's what you need to know. He'll move on and you'll move on. You'll be a little slower moving on. He'll move on a little faster. Because to him, it's just been a good time. However, I can tell you that it will lead to you having a better quality of life. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at the retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need. They have shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. I'm in Charles Tyrwhitt Attire today. If you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And the White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on 5th Avenue in New York. If you're in New York, stop in at the retail store. They have everything that you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. If you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are having difficulty sleeping, thinking about what has gone wrong in your life over the years. And you want to know, do I have a recommendation for moving forward and for spending less time on the past and for getting some sleep? So sleep is a necessity. You don't want to be sleep deprived. So I'm delighted that you asked this question, and I'm going to tell you this. The one thing that you're going to do, you said that you're having some anxiety, and pardon me, you are having some anxiety due to sleep deprivation. And so you're going to have to bring that to a successful resolution. And the way that you're going to be able to do that is this. You're going to need to spend more time in prayer. That will, I promise you, that will help you with your sleeping habits. And the other thing you're going to have to do is remember that you can't change the past. So you can't spend time focusing on the things that have gone wrong over the course of your life. What about the things that have gone right over the course of your life? You know, the good news is that the things that have gone wrong, God has brought you through them. Brought you through them and placed you on solid ground. Brought you through all of the challenges that you were dealing with, all of the things that have gone wrong. There is so much that's gone right in your life that you don't need to spend any more time on what has gone wrong. What has gone wrong is in the past. What has gone right is where you are today. Don't lose any more sleep over what's gone wrong. And the way that you're going to avoid that is by every night when you go to bed. So I always have my nightly prayer before I get in bed, which is my prayer for everyone else. It's you know, my prayer, praise, and worship, and just asking God to cover the lives of those that I know are going through some challenges, and I call them out by name. That's part of my nightly prayer. But then when I get in bed, I pray before I go to sleep. And then I go to sleep. And you can do it too. But you have to spend more time in prayer. And even if you don't spend your time in prayer on your knees or standing before God or laying before God as I do, you can get in bed and just pray. Pray, and if you take more time than I take to go to sleep, then you might want to meditate upon some of the scriptures, but you have to read the scriptures to be able to meditate upon them. There are things you can do to rid yourself of all of the thoughts of the past and focus on your present. Think upon your present and focus upon your future. What is it that you want to accomplish moving forward? What are the goals that you've set? Meditate on those. And think of scriptures that apply to them as you read the scriptures. Start out in the book of Psalms. I tell everyone this. Start out in the book of Psalms. Read one chapter a day. Then read Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. You will find that will take you most of the year to do that. At least half of it. But you've got to focus on something that's better than focusing on the wrong things of the past. Focus on the things, the good things of the present and your expectation for the future. 3D, today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast, as always, has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. Now, you know we started with a little bit of technical difficulty, so hopefully everyone got everything in the introduction, but may God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God